All right, so this video is about subtraction. Let's say I have 12 minus 7. Okay. So basically, again, definition of this, how do we define this? The value 12 minus 7 is the missing addend, or 7 plus blank equals 12, right? And so the 12 and 7, there's nothing special about them, but yeah, that's what they are. So just some terminology here. So the minuend is first. So the minuend is the larger number. In normal cases, the first number. Let's say first. And then the subtrahend is the second number. And then the difference is the result. And again, I mentioned this with addition. These terms are helpful when you're talking to other educators. You're not going to throw them around in like a first grade class, for example. But you know, all right. So if I have the 12 minus 7 equals 5. Here's the minuend, subtrahend, and difference. Okay. So there's actually 3 big models for, or I would say interpretations, and then there's models inside of that for subtraction. So let's go over those. We'll just write them all out, and then we'll do some examples. Okay, so part-whole interpretation. So let's start looking at that. And so within each of these, there's 2 ways of thinking about them. It's the same that we were talking about with addition. I can talk about sets of things, which is the really sort of basic things if we're counting, and then the measurement if we're talking about going so far and then going farther again. So a set model might be. I have, I'm not going to write it all out, but if I have, say, 12 pieces of fruit that are apples and oranges, 7 of them are apples, how many of them are oranges, right? So you know the whole, that would be basically the minuend, and you know part, that's the subtrahend, then the difference would also be the remaining part of it. A measurement, so let's see, so maybe 12, maybe I'll write down some pieces of fruit, 7 apples, question mark oranges. So measurement would be distance, right? So say 12 miles to school, right? I stop breakfast. After 5 miles, 7, how much remaining? Okay. So again, this is part whole because I know how far it is total to school. I've gone part of the way there. How much is left? Okay, now let's look at takeaway. Oops, this is for the set model. So let's say again I have 12 pieces, or let's say I have 12 apples. I give 7 away. How many are left? So I've got a bowl of 12 apples. I give 7 of them away. How many do I have left? Right. So measurement isn't always distance. So if I have something like 12 gallons of punch for a party, 7 gallons 7 gallons are drunk. How many are left? So that was the takeaway interpretation that we just did there. And then comparison. So now I'm going to do a comparison interpretation. Say Abby has 12 balls. Say Chloe has 7. How many more balls does Abby have than Chloe? Right. Right. Those are actual things. A measurement version of this is say, I'll say Julian is 56 inches tall. Frank is 54 inches tall. How much taller is Julian than Frank? Okay. And if you notice, one of the things, I've done this, but I haven't really said it. Right, we have both sets and measurement interpretation with all of these things. And it's really kind of important that sort of students know how to do both of these kind of problems. And one of the things that we'll emphasize in this book, but also, or in this class, but also I think that today's mathematics is doing a lot more of is quote-unquote word problems, sort of really understanding the sort of, not necessarily real world problems, but instead of just abstract mathematical operations, and making sure that, for example, in subtraction, you know all 3 interpretations and within that each 2 of the models to so you can see all the aspects of subtraction, for example. Okay, I think that wraps up the subtraction video here.